Good day. Today I'm going to present another movie story I wrote recently for a movie script. Can be shot for internet release. Anybody interested can contact me. The working title for this story is Mechanic Raju. Mechanic Raju. Raju is a mechanic who works on many vehicles, auto rickshaws or cars or motorbikes and scooters, all kind of small mechanical jobs he does. He got a small mechanic shop or a garage in the poorer section of the town. He works with 2 or 3 mechanics, but his right-hand man is called Gopi. He's also a good friend. They both sleep in the back of the shed, in a small shed, and they spend 24/7 fixing cars and motorbikes and scooters. And next to that mechanic shop, there is a Hanuman temple where Pandit Sharma always stay there. He comes once in a while, drop by, and gives some prasad to those mechanics. So they have a very good relation. And Pandit Sharma is a very good vocalist. He can sing bhajans. So he sings one of the good bhajans as one of the item songs in the presence of all the mechanics who will do dancing for that bhajan. And also the mechanics, Raju, of course the chief mechanic who owns is the mechanic Raju, and his close friend Gopi and other few mechanics also sing a song. You remember the old black and movie with Kishore Kumar, Ashok Kumar, Anup Kumar, Chalti Ka Naam Gaade. So there is a song, Baju, Babu, Samjo Hishare, Himta Pukare, Pam Pam Pam, Baju. That song. They have a item song sung by mechanic Raju and his friend Gopi and other mechanics. On the top of the cars, they stand and dance. So there is a beautiful opportunity for creating a item song. One day, a girl comes to the scooter complaining it is giving some noise. If you can diagnose and fix it, for a low price. And she's a good-looking girl. So Gopi says, I cannot test it in the garage. I had to drive it so I can diagnose what is wrong with it. She says, okay, I will come with you. I sit behind you. You go to the town, I'll show my home. And you can diagnose on the way the sound, and then you can drop it at home and then take it, my scooter, to your garage and fix it, and tomorrow you can give me a call, and I would appreciate if you pick me up because I have no other transportation. He says, okay, he doesn't drop customers, but being a girl and she looks beautiful, he agrees. So they take a ride on the city with all the streets and side streets. It's a big show, He's driving his scooter and she's sitting behind him. And all of a sudden, Detective Raju detects 2 rowdies or hooligans trying to snatch a gold necklace from a woman who is going to buy groceries. Immediately, spontaneously, he followed them. And then he kicks their motorbike with his leg, and then they fall to the ground, and then the big fight. There is again an fight between the 2 rogues and mechanic Raju, and eventually cops will come and arrest them. And Geeta likes that kind of spontaneity, the feeling of helping people in mechanic Raju, and she likes him. And then again they reach the Geeta's home, which is in a poor area, a very small, dilapidated house. She lives there. And Geeta shows her small house, and then she requests him to give her a call when it is fixed next day, so he can drop by to pick her up. He says, fine. But he's going out, he saw a young man, a more boyish-looking guy, rushes from her house to get into a car, somebody's driving, and then drive off. He gives a second thought, who is this boy or a young man. But anyway, next day he gives a call in the evening, Geeta, your scooter is fixed, I can come and pick you up. She says, fine. He goes to pick her up. And then on the way, she tells a sad story that how her mother died years ago and her father became alcoholic. He drinks a lot of alcohol and then sleeps whole day and cooks for his son and daughter. And she says the young man, mechanic Raju say in their house was his brother. He works, he doesn't know what kind of job he does, but he brings enough money for his father to drink and cook food for both of us. And I work in a bar attender in one of the biggest bars and discotheque in town. He feels sad for her, but then when they reach Mechanic Raju's shop, Mechanic Raju requests Geeta to take her to the club because he never been to that club. That is a very rich club. Only rich people with money or people who have contact can get in. She agrees with him. He changes clothes to a nice looking clothes. And then he drives, she sits behind him. They go to the club. And then they have she started doing as a bar woman, serving drinks to patrons. He sits near the bar, and then one guy sitting next to him trips Geeta serving the drink. So she tried to fall because he trips. Trips means putting leg on her way. It's called tripping here. And then the next man picks her up, without she falling and hugs her. That is a trick between these two rowdies. They do all the time to hug the girls, So he realizes, Mechanic Raju sees, and then he met them a few minutes afterwards in a bathroom and give a good trashing to those rowdies. And then he come back and then ask Geeta to dance in the discotheque. And she says, okay, she get permission from bar manager. They go and there's a one item song in the discotheque with a group dance, a beautiful song. And that night, Mechanic Raju gets a ride from Gopi to go home, and then Geeta drives her own scooter, and then she goes home. And then they contact, they call each other, and once in a while Geeta brings his scooter if she's not working. So they develop a kind of romantic relationship, Mechanic Raju and Geeta. One day, when Mechanic Raju dropped Geeta's house to drop her, she saw the young man again going rashly from the house. He asks, Geeta, what do your brother do? What kind of a living? She says, honestly, he doesn't do a regular job. He works as a drug pusher, a small-time drug pusher. He sells drugs to the students in the colleges and in the restaurants and the hotels. A small amount, 1 gram, 5 gram of hashish or all those, marijuana and all that, ganja or crack or cocaine, and that's the only way he can make money because he's not educated. So he wants to help that young boy, So he talks to his inspector, Sekhar, and one day Geeta brings his brother Ravi to the police station. So they all four chat, and Inspector Sekhar suggests to wear a wire, a monitoring device, and talk with his drug lord in the city so they can record the conversation and arrest him red hand. Ravi is very skeptical, because that drug lord is very smart, he may catch me and he may kill me, but they encourage him to do so. He reluctantly agrees to wear a wire, that means electronic monitoring system. And then Ravi goes in the night to pick up the drugs at the drug lord's home. It's a very very rich home, It's like a palace. And then the drug lord recognizes Ravi's funny behavior, and then they search him with his assistant, found him a wire and electronic monitoring. So he will beat him up, so he will be hospitalized in a serious condition. Inspector Raju and Inspector Shekhar and Mechanic Raju will feel sorry for Ravi, but he will be recovered slowly. And then Detective Sekhar suggests Mechanic Raju to go undercover, as a camouflaging or behaving or pretending like a small time drug dealer and joined the team selling retail drugs so that they can capture this time. This time, of course, Detective Saker gives a very good wire and electronic monitoring to Mechanic Roger, and Mechanic Roger works for a drug lord and then even records all his voices, red-handed. He was caught. And that gives Inspector Saker a good reason to arrest him and take him to the jail and then register a case against him for the illicit drug trading. Meanwhile, the romance between Mechanic Roger and Geeta progresses. They have a lot of songs, one in the discotheque, one in the beach when they go out, some dream songs, the usual theme songs and dances. And of course, the comedy scenes are provided by mechanics, including Gopi is a comedian, plus the Pandit Sharma who drops by is also a nice bhajan singer and he gave some jokes. All in all, this is a very good movie, a family-oriented movie with some very good songs and a little bit of violent fights involved to satisfy all walks of life. So if anybody interested to make this movie, I can write the script and you can act or your friends can act and release on internet on platforms like Netflix or Amazon or YouTube. So if you are interested in making a movie out of this, call me at subba4@msn.com. SUBBA 4, number 4, like at msn.com. Thank you and bye.